Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Story Time with Panic. I am Panic, and today we're going to read a story by Ryan Schmock, The American Dream of the Immigrants. There are many topics that have been discussed in this country. People have a hard time making decisions. Some people say that this is not a problem in this country. For people who are not from the U.S., it is a major problem, and immigrants have a hard time trying to learn or speak English. Therefore, they look for jobs where speaking English is unnecessary. Most of those jobs make around the minimum wage. The problem is that immigrants need to learn English in order to stay in this country and to also have a better job opportunity. In order for legal immigrants to gain access to good-paying jobs, they must learn English. Therefore, English should become the official language of the U.S. Immigrants who can learn English will most likely have better opportunities. According to an article written by Steve Farkas, he considers learning English to be essential. Some people from other countries like China or Japan have no problem learning the English language. Some people have the ability to speak multiple languages fluently. According to an article written by Kathy Christie, the common perception of Asian immigrants is they are bright, they work hard, and they succeed. English is one of the most well-known languages in the United States. Most of the immigrants who come to the United States speak mostly Spanish. Most of the United States is made up of immigrants. The reason why there are so many immigrants in the United States is because they want to have a better life, and it will be beneficial for them to learn English. It would give them a better understanding of the untied states. The English language has also been a subject discussed by Congress. Several states are trying to get the government to make English the main language of the U.S., and that every immigrant in this country must learn. Implementing this change will help people communicate better, and immigrants will have a successful life in the U.S. It has been said that living in the United States is like living the American dream. Farkas said in an article that immigrants display appreciation of the U.S. and a commitment to making it their home, also maintain a strong connection to their country of origin. The other countries have respect for Americans, and Americans respect them back for all the stuff they do. According to Hing Bill Ong's book, To Be an American, Culture of Pluralism, and the Rhetoric of Assimilation, first-generation immigrants tend to learn English and pass it along to their children, who become bilingual. Immigrants would rather speak their own language than to speak English. For some immigrants, English could cause some anxiety. English is considered to be a tough language to learn if a person is not from the United States. It is difficult for a person in the United States to learn a language like Spanish, French, German, Chinese, or Japanese. In the words spoken by Andrew Friedman, he states, "One aspect of making sure we have an immigrant system that works, that's orderly and fair, is to actively reach out and have assimilate into our country. That means learn the values and history and language of America. Immigrants want to be successful in the U.S. They have to learn and speak the English language fluently. There is no law stating what the official language of the United States should be. Therefore, everyone who lives in the United States speak the language that they want to speak. More people speak Spanish than English. Having the government involved in this is the only way something could be done. The government getting involved could be a very important factor in getting English to be the official language." An article entitled "The Wisconsin Assembly Voted 57-40 to make English the official language of the state and require accountability for the printing of documents in other languages." Nearly every state around the country wants the government to make English the official language. According to Pro-English, having a bilingual education keeps immigrants from learning English. This causes problems because immigrants cannot hold certain jobs that they may require them to speak English. It takes a lot of time to learn the English language. Some immigrants can learn the English language faster than others. There are some people who think why this is discussed so much. It is discussed because it has been a problem for many years. Many immigrants argue that they should be allowed to speak any kind of language they want to without having people tell them to speak a certain language. Some U.S. citizens say that immigrants should learn English so they can use it if needed. Immigrants getting to use English will take a lot of time, and it is sometimes not an easy process. Many people think it is a good idea, and some people think the idea will not work. According to Steve Farkas, the national origins of immigrants to America changing in step with both world events evolving U.S. policies. Immigrants change the society of the United States. The United States is now a multicultural country. There are many different races and religions. There have been many positive and negative things about the language of English and how it is dealt with. People in the U.S. who know how to speak English think anyone could speak the language. People in other countries do not feel the same way and may have trouble. If the immigrants want to live in the U.S., they need to have an idea to speak English. Discussing this matter is very important because over the years, immigrants have snuck into this country illegally and would speak their language no matter what. It is something that will not be tolerated in the U.S. It has been a problem in the northeastern part of the United States. More illegal immigrants are able to somehow find a way to sneak into the United States to work for money. A lot has to do with immigration. Immigration has been around for a long time. There are more immigrants in the United States today. Immigrants want to have freedom to speak any language they want to speak. It is a problem when U.S. people cannot understand what immigrants are saying. Some immigrants do not feel like learning the English language, so they have an interpreter with them to translate what they are saying so that a person who speaks English will understand. About 29% of immigrants now speak mostly English at home. Another 31% speak English and their native language about equally. 47% of immigrants have taken classes to improve their language skills. It is no surprise that English is an essential language to learn. In 2015, nearly 1 out of 3 students will be an English language learner. According to an article written for Junior Scholastic, 91% of foreign-born Latino immigrants agree that learning English is essential to success in the U.S. Some people say that everyone should learn more than one language. It is considered to be very knowledgeable and helpful. It would be a wise decision to learn English, as most U.S. schools would teach it to immigrants as a second language to them. If immigrants have been living in the U.S. for a long time, then they should adapt to learning the English language. According to an article written in July of 2007, the majority of English language learners are not immigrants, but are in fact U.S. citizens. Having it as the official language would be very helpful to everyone. It would be helpful for bosses and employees. It would help increase businesses and attract a lot of people. Also, the United States is great for immigrants who want to use resources such as computers, jobs, and money. Legal immigrants want to have good-paying jobs, and they must learn, read, and speak the language of English. English should become the official language of the U.S. Having them learn English will give them more opportunity to be very successful. It is a lengthy process to get the government to make it official. It should be required that all immigrants who enter the region of North America in the U.S. should be required to at least learn and speak the English language. It will be beneficial to the immigrants if they learn to speak English. The United States should adapt English as its official language. It would be beneficial for everyone to speak the same language so we could communicate with one another. Having an official language like English will make things easier, and people will not discriminate against those who have difficulty speaking the language. Making English the official language is good for business, conversations, and work reasons. Immigrants are most likely to succeed if they learn the English language. This is Panik Storytime. See you next time, everybody.